Okay, testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. All right, testing. Testing, testing. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Test, test. Testing, testing, testing. All right, here I am. Thank you, Jehovah. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, Jehovah. Thank you for this opportunity, Jehovah. Jehovah, thank you. Use me to be a light, to do the absolute best I can, to spread the light to my brethren. Jehovah, I pray you use my channel that I can be an encouragement to brethren. I pray that I can do whatever I can to shine the light on the only hope for mankind, which is your word, the Oahspe. And I just pray for utterance and clarity and that I wouldn't embarrass myself. And Joby, that I would speak things that brethren that would bless their ears. And just pray that brethren would use this opportunity to have fellowship with one another and talk with one another and be thankful that we have been given this understanding that helps us to know what everything is all about. Joby, thank you. Your name. So let it be. All right, brethren. Good to see y'all. Asenath, Gospel, Grace, Matthias. Who else we got in here? Nazarene. Hey, bro. You got to send me. Are you in the room, Nazarene? Can you hear me? First of all, is my mic okay? Can somebody type of one let me know my mic's okay? Sound okay? Testing 1, 2, 3. Does everything sound okay? Testing. 1, 2, 3. Test. Can anybody hear me okay? Just type 1. If not, then I'm just assumed that I can be heard. And after a while, if I'm speaking and there's no sound, I imagine somebody will tell me. But if you don't mind, type 1. Let me know if I can be heard okay. And Nazarene, are you in the room? Nazarene? Essene, Faithus? Anyway, hopefully you can hear me. I need what you want me to put on the index card. Are you in the room, Nazarene, Essene, Faithus? I see your name here. Did you just come in, check in and check out? Nazarene, Essene, Faithus, are you here? Is anybody here? Am I on live? Can anybody hear me? Asenath. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Nazarene is seeing Faithus. If you hear this, I sent you a couple of emails. You got to tell me what you want me to print on that index card. You got to tell me what you want on there, and then I'll put it on there. I'll get it sent out to you. All right, well, I can be heard, so now I can keep going. Brethren, thank you for joining me. My name is Jaquab Ben Yisrael, and I'm a Faithist, and this channel is dedicated to brothers and sisters who are Faithists, people who can subscribe to the OAHSPE guidebook. This is the newest revelation of the Creator, and man, oh man, brethren, I got me a big old magnetic sticker that I can stick on my car now. Big old magnetic sticker. I think I got a picture of it here. I took a picture of it, and it's just an idea. Check this out. I think I still have it on the screen. Let me see. Magnetic sticker. You can put on your car. Let me see if I can find it. Just got it right before I went on. Check this out. Hopefully y'all can see that okay. Good way to spread the light, man. I got more good news too. Incredible news. I just hope that it come to pass. Hopefully y'all can see that okay. Nice big sticker, driving around, sharing the light. Nothing like sharing the light, man, when you just out and about, Good idea to try to get this thing going. America is where it's supposed to start. Anyway, I live right next to the University of Arizona. I live pretty close to University of Arizona. And I got it in my mind I just went down there one day. I went on campus. I just rode around to check out the scene, see what's going on. So I got it in my mind, hey, I know they got a library here. I probably could, talk with somebody, see if I can get the Oahspe up in here, So I asked this lady where the library was. I couldn't find it. And so I went home and I called him, and the dude let me talk to him for about a good half hour. He hadn't heard of it. He directed me to the theological department. Hey, Mahalia, Sis, good to see you. So I called him and got a hold. They have a theological department or something like that, and so I the dude let me talk to him, and talked to him for about a good 45 minutes. I say, hey man, this is something new here. This is new light. This is from the creator, that spiel. And the guy said he asked me a whole bunch of questions, man, that really encouraged me, but he, wanted my information and basically was wanting to see if I was legit. And so he said, okay, look, we'd like to schedule you for a meeting to come down to the university and talk to the administrator here. And it's something that they have not heard of, and they would like to take a look at it. And I need to have more faith. I need more faith because I don't think they're going to do anything with it. I need faith that, but it's out of my control. All I got to do is make the effort. That's all I got to do, And they said, well, we want you to come down next week. We want you to bring bring the books with you. So I got the Oahspe and the books, the 6-volume set that I'm going to bring down with me. And I hope everything go okay. I hope that the explosion start right here in Tucson. The explosion, you brethren, how the creator said that it's going to start here in America. You know that, right? Or he said at least this is going to have a major part. America was going to have a major part in the Oahspe. You brethren know that, right? Oh, you know what? I forgot. Let me put the link in the chat in case anybody want to come on. I'm gonna do some reading today. The name of the video is "It Take the Power." Only the Creator can break the power of a false god. I think this is gonna be a good video today, man. I'm prepared. Last time I worked for 2 days on coming up with verses that are metaphysical in nature but point to the Oahspe, and I had a couple things happening. I had to go to the emergency room. So when I got back, I was in a rush. And I think somehow I deleted it. And 2 days of work right down the drain, But anyway, there's the link where if you want anybody, this channel, I'm dying to have a whole bunch of brethren come on at once and just have fellowship and make it a regular thing. You just talk about what you want to talk about and encourage brethren, speak about any old thing, man. I don't have to talk, but I'm gonna try to read things that spark discussion. And so anyway, the university has me scheduled for next week, and I'm gonna come down and do the best I can. And hopefully the creator, he'll light the fire right here from Arizona. But if not, maybe one of you brethren, he going to use you to light that fire. The fire is going to get lit in America. The Oahspe is going to cover, it's going to, I don't know if I could say it's going to start from America, but America is going to have a huge role. Gautama is going to have a huge role in the kingdom coming on the earth. America is going to have a huge role. So where do I want to start? The last video, I wanted to point out a new way that the creator taught me how to look at the scriptures, and that's metaphysically. Now, metaphysically, when you look at things metaphysically, it's like a message that it has underlying meaning. It can refer to something else other than the surface meaning. Talking about the Bible. Now, there are some good examples, man, and they just keep coming to me now. Couple good examples of a Bible. I think that the creator allowed the Bible, he allows it to minister to us. It's not just the Oahspe. It's the Bible. It's many books. Brethren are writing books, to supplement the Oahspe. The creator said that was going to happen. And I think that even though the creator, he says that the Bible is not his word, even though the Bible is not his, it's a partial revelation. I think that the creator is so powerful that we could pick it up and read it and see where it's referring to us. Have you, brethren, ever seen that verse? Have you ever seen that verse in Luke chapter 1, verse 41? You remember the one? I like this. This is one of my favorite ones, man. You know, let me see if I can bring it up real quick. Matter of fact, I think I got it on screen here. Luke 141. I love this, man. Check this out. See if y'all can agree. And y'all come up, you know, if y'all can think of some, you know, y'all remember this verse right here? Luke 141. You could say that's talking about faith, this too. Look at that. And it came to pass that when Elizabeth heard the salutation of Mary, the babe leapt in her womb, and Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Ghost. Now, I'm not pointing to the Holy Ghost as something that happened to us. That's a false doctrine. But the thing I want to draw your attention to is, do you know, you brethren, you know that we described as being in the womb. You know that, right? Do you know that the Oahspe describe us as being in the womb? We ain't even born yet. How do you like that? You know, the Oahspe says that we're in the embryo. You want me to show it to you? Can you hold tight for a second? Okay, hold tight for 1 second. Let me show it to you. Now, let me bring up another screen here. Now check this out. The Oahspe, you brethren, you probably know this. It says that we are in the embryo right now, you know? And, you know, you think of it. Now, I could be wrong, man, you know, but I'm going to say it anyway. In the world, you got people who they say, man, he was gifted from a child, you know, gifted from, you know, childbirth, you know. And it's almost as if they were born with gifts and, you know, they real young and they real smart. You got people, you know, they in college, they got a PhD at 8 years old, you know. It's something that happened to them that they just were gifted from birth. Check it out. You brethren are doing basically the same thing right now. Do you know the Oahspe? It talk about making yourself. It talk about making yourself. The creator says we're in the womb right now. Now, let me find the verse I'm looking for. I hope you can see it on the screen. I'm gonna try to find the one where he says that we are in the embryo. We aren't even born yet. Let's see if this is it right here. No, that's not it. Just bear with me because I'm gonna get that verse where check this out. Here it is right here. I think this is it right here. Do not live for the corporeal man, but for the spiritual man. Remember, check this out. You are not yet born, but are in embryo. Look at that. You shaping yourself for everlasting life. You see, we need people to bring the tetracts out of it so we can do battle with it. We need the tetracts. We need the tetracts to bake. That's or else we wouldn't know. We wouldn't, you know, it's just like practice, you know. We need that entity to help us to do battle, you know, because the creator, he called us to do battle against ourselves, the Satan that lived within us. That's one of the big things about the faith. That's one of the things that the creator talks about. That's one of the main tenets of our faith is we understand that we have to save ourselves. Can't no savior save us. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if there's another verse that points to the same thing. Let me see if I can find something else. You know, so the embryo, see, let's here's a footnote right here. Let me check this out. Okay, no, that's not going to let me see if I can find, you know, but basically the creator says right now here, you know, on the red star on the earth, we're yet. We are not even born yet. I don't think I would be able to find it. All mortals are in the embryonic state. preparing for birth, commonly called death. That's our situation. You see? So here we are in the red star. We dealing with our tetracts. We dealing with corruption and darkness. We surrounded by the darkness. And another thing too, I learned a little bit about. I was looking at AG, AJI, those periods of time when we go into it's a heavy vibration on for grades that are not resurrection grade. It just makes them. It pulls them down further into the beast kingdom. But for resurrection grades, it can actually help you to bear more fruit. If I get time, I'm gonna do a little study on AG and Gia. I went crazy on Grok AI, the Twitter AI. I just went crazy one night, man. I just started asking all kinds of questions. Now you can't trust AI 100%. AI don't know a whole lot about the Oahspe, and so it gets something. You got to look out for, and make sure you pay attention to what it's saying, you know. But I'm gonna try to talk a little bit about AG and Gia later on in the program. So we're in the embryonic state. We are in the embryonic state. And then, when you going back to the Bible and the verses that it points out, you can see where it's talking. The Creator is sharing with us some heavy spiritual stuff. Here it is again, Luke 41. That refers to the verses we just got finished looking at in the Oahspe. It said the babe leapt in her womb. Now, I'm equating that when you, brethren, come into the light. I know that was the case for me. I'm here. I'm on the red star. I'm on the earth like you, brethren, right? The word came to my attention. And right here, while I'm on the earth, man, I leapt. Man, I was so glad to get that bondage broken of religion. I was. And the Creator broke it. And I am still just as happy as I could be. I'm so glad. I'm broke down. I'm sick. I know I'm on borrowed time. My body is letting me down bad, but I'm just the happiest I could ever be, man. I'm just, the knowledge that the Creator is opening up now. I still can't believe it, Bondage. I mean, when you talking to a Christian or you know what a knot is? Do you, brother, know? You know what a knot is, right? You know what a knot is? Check this out. Hold on 1 second. You know what what the Oahspe calls a knot. Let me find it. I love this. I love the Mecca pilgrimage. The Hajj. Look at this, brethren. That's a knot right there. Let me see if I can get images. Check this out. That's what the Oahspe call a knot. That's bondage. Look at that. People circling that, the Hajj, bondage. That's something, that's from what I understand, they feel like that's something that they have to do at least once in their life, make Hajj or the Medina or whatever they call that. They make the pilgrimage, All those people, man, circling, walking around the, I forget what they call that there. The, is that the Hajj? It's a Hajj pilgrimage. A knot, religion, bondage. And there ain't nothing, it's a mindset. And if the Creator, I'm telling you, if the Creator don't break it, if he don't break it, man, you brethren can see how the Creator has, and it's going to be broken eventually. Now, that's the good news. Everybody is going to make the resurrection. So that's a beautiful thing. I love knowing that. But I'd rather not avoid, I really, when you're talking about the things we be talking about, people don't really like, this happened just today. Just happened today, man. The home care lady came by, a couple times a week. I have to have the home care lady come by. They have to check on me, check my, redo my bandages and stuff like that. Look at my, the 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 issues that I have. You know, they gotta. And so she had been coming by a couple of months, right? I thought, man, we hitting it off pretty good. You know, we hitting it off pretty good. Come to find out today, she don't want to come by no more. I asked the lady, I said, what the hell happened? She she said what it is, she don't like me sharing the light, even though she was acting all enthusiastic, you know. She was acting all and but see, you know what it is? Now I'm not coming down on her. I'm just saying, brethren, when can't not everybody get on this road that we on, you know? Can't and you know, I know we don't look down on I root for people, man, you know. I root for people to come into the light, get out of that bondage, stop settling for the low, for the base things of life, living on the lowest, living your, you know, what's the good word for bottom feeding? You know, settling for the lowest life has to offer, settling for the you know. She told that lady that came by here, she said she really was saying she don't like to hear about it. And I thought, I'm sitting up here thinking, man, she's loving it. You know, we talking, she asking me questions and everything, and I thought she was interested. And come to find out, you know, it was she don't like hearing about these things. She don't like hearing about these things. So let me go to the chat and see what's going on there. I don't know if anybody's talking to me or what's going on there. Let me just say hi to everybody. Thanks for coming. Let's see. I put the thing in the link there. Somebody is saying something. Who? Will Freeman? I don't know you. I never seen you before, but welcome to the room. I'm trying to read what you. All right, Omian. Omian. Good to see you, brother. I see some chatting going on here. Well, anyway, I put the link in the room in case anybody want to come on. You want to have a conversation, man. Be my guest. Be my guest. Just click on the link. You can come on as long as you're civil. You're not into trying to rage bait or you know, you want to fight and all that. You know, that's this channel. It ain't for that. This is a channel for faithists, for building each other up. Hopefully, brethren will come on, talk to one another, and hopefully, you know, we can get to a point where we can have hundreds of people in this room on video talking to one another. And then when the world see that light, that could be the thing that kick it off, you know? Somehow or another, it's going to get kicked off. The light is going to come right here in America. The creator is going to make it. You're going to make this thing happen. I found something in Radiance Anthology real. I'm going to read from the book of Thor. The name of the video is Only the Creator Can Break the Power of False Gods. You're looking at a knot right there. You see that knot? They circling that Hajj or the Mecca pilgrimage. All them people, their minds, they're blocked. That, you know, only the creator can break that spirit. I want to share something real quick. I want to share something. Y'all might like this. I'm going to read this. I'm going to read the book of Thor in the Oahspe because I'm going to read this first. So when you read the Oahspe, man, the creator, it's like every time you read it, it's like it rejuvenates you, no matter if you read it 1,000 times before. And it's just got that type of anointing on it. Things you read you know, it just keep re-energizing you, you know? And so I'm gonna read the book of Thor, and it's basically gonna talk about the setup, you know, it was the end of an arc cycle, Apollo's arc cycle. People was off into beauty and bodybuilding but they started slipping like we always do at the end of an arc cycle. Started becoming vain, and in the time of Apollo, people were becoming materialistic. And you can see a lot of Apollo in the world today. People taking pride in the way they look, the beauty industry, America places a real premium on how you look, how superficial things. America is like that. It's got a lot of Apollo is in America. And Thor, he had to come. And it seems like with these arc cycles, what I'm learning about the gods, about the Etherean gods, it's like they come down, they straighten us out, and then we get straightened out, and then we start going from one extreme to another. And it's like we keep missing that balance. We keep missing that balance, It's like Thor, he had to come and restore righteous worship and community and showing people the power. And then we got into who was it? Spita, was it, after Thor or whoever it was? And then or Osiris, and then we started learning about the stars and the planets, and then we became agnostic, because it was so heavy, the teaching of the planets and the stars, and then we had to, the Ethereans have to keep coming back and like bringing us back. We go off in one direction, and Thor is going to talk about that too. We go to one extreme and then we go to the other extreme, and the whole point is to try to have that healthy balance of corporeal and spiritual. But I'm going off. I'm going to read Thor. I'm just going to read this first. This is Radiance Anthology, something from Radiance Anthology. It says, use us, O Creator. Let me see if I can, I hope you can see that okay. So this is in Radiance Anthology. I want to increase the screen, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. So I'm going to read it. I thought it was pretty good, so I wanted to share it right quick. Check it out. Now, Radiance Anthology, from what I understand, the Elohists, which basically mean the doers of the will, Elohists, these brethren, they put out the Oahspe. They just saying, the Elohist is called, the Elohist means the doers of the will. And the Radiance Anthology is just as big as the Oahspe, right? And so they wrote it's a big book, man, and it's full of angel visitation type messages, because there are brethren. Let me stop for a second. Omi, you saying you got something, Omi or Nazarene? See what's going on in the chat here. Is something going on here? Give me a second. Nazarene says, instead of, oh, okay. We got a brother in here that, hey, Will Freeman, why don't you click on the link? Why don't you, if you want, you can click on the link. We can have a discussion. If you have like questions but if you come to cause trouble and disrupt brethren, then, you might want to, this is not the place for that. Do you want, if you can click on the link, you can come on, we can talk. But for, don't come in here and disrupt the fellowship, because that's not going to, that's no good for nobody. You're welcome to stay as long as you're interested sincerely. So I can't watch the chat and do the video at the same time, so I'll just let my brother handle it. And I'm gonna try to just go on. If y'all tell me you brethren are admins anyway, so y'all with the wrench by y'all name, that means y'all are admins. So y'all got much control over the room as I do. So I can just focus on trying to read things and share. And so I'll leave that up to y'all. All right, now this is Radiance Anthology. And it says, use us, O Creator. It says, we look out at the world, O Creator, and nowhere do we see anyone speaking up for thee. I wish I could make it bigger. Will that make it bigger? No, that makes it smaller. That's all right. I'll just read it. It says, we look out at the world, O Creator, and nowhere do we see anyone speaking up for thee, worshiping thee, giving themselves to thee, or asking how they can serve thee. But we do not question that there are such people in the world. It is just that such an attitude is not acceptable in the world, and it is not conducive to prosperity and success in the world. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth, man? This is where we live. We are ordinary people without any special talents. How do you like that? Talking about faithists, man. It says, we are ordinary people without any special talents, but are willing to give ourselves to thee and serve thee the best we can. See? I'm a very good example of that. I don't have any special talents. I'm not gifted I don't think I am, All I got, brother, is desire to spread the light. That's all I got, man. I am nothing special, I'm not as talented or as educated as other brethren. I just lead with my heart, man. That's all I know how to do, and then the Spirit will pick up where I leave off. It says, we are ordinary people without any special talents, but are willing to give ourselves to thee and serve thee the best we can. There must be an answer to our prayers. We cannot imagine that thou wouldest fail to serve to use us. If we are true to thee within ourselves, O Creator, we will get no praise or help from the world. Ain't that the truth? It says, there must be an answer to our prayers. We cannot imagine that thou wouldest fail to use us. If we are true to thee within ourselves, O Creator, we will get no praise or help from the world. That's the truth, man. Nobody will answer. Nobody will understand what we're trying to do, nor believe it, nor even care about it. But thou wilt know, and thou wilt use us. See, that's all that's important. Thou art using us at this moment, even in our darkness and limitation. Thou didst use, Thomas Paine was one of the they call them the forefathers or the what do they call them? That helped found America, founding fathers, they call them, or, Thomas Paine, he wrote that book called Common Sense, I think it was. It's talking about him in Radiance Anthology. It says, thou didst use Thomas Paine, even though he was full of human weaknesses. Thou art using thousands in the world. We believe without their even knowing it. How do you like that? See? Without our even knowing it, man, How can we know what a great blessing we are in the world? We affirm thy presence and power. Maybe there is something in us which denies it, but thou art using the soul. See, wow. Oh, man. Thou art using the soul's awareness, our awareness. You can't explain it. It's like something that drives you. It's just, oh, man, I wish I could explain it. A faithist is made out of concrete, man. You can't break them. They got something in them that ain't they won't break. The soul's light and strength and faith, thou art inspiring the soul to voice the truths in the first place. Thou art the origin of the light we express, the Creator. He's the origin of the light we express. Without thy inspiring angels, we would be unaware and we would be unawake, unaware, lost in darkness like millions of other mortals. See there? This light is of thy presence. This love is of thy presence. This divine purpose is of thy presence. Praise to thee, Jehovah, from whom all good is flowing to overcome the darkness and create a new order of peace and goodwill on earth. You know what I like about this? If somebody want to comment on this, man, hey, look, be my guest, man. Let me put the link in the chat again. The part I like about this is how he does things without our knowing it. One of the light bearers was like that too. He didn't know he was being worked with. Y'all remember him? Was it Capelia? It was Capelia, wasn't it? He was a prince. He didn't know that. He didn't know that he was being worked with. One of the lawgivers, Joe be telling you that that's how he do, subconsciously without our knowing. But he says that we have that vibration. We got a vibration on us that keeps pushing us. Keep pushing you to endure, to live, to believe. See, the name of the video is only the creator can break the power of a false god. Religion. I'm going to the book of Thor. I'm going to read the book of Thor. And so one of the things I noticed with the Oahspe, the creator, he gives you a macro and a incremental view of our growth. Because, we start from zero and then we got to learn, just like a baby in a sense, helpless. And we got to learn our ABCs. You got to learn how to walk. You learning that you can touch things and feel things and our growth. And so the gods, the Ethereal gods, they each had a part. It's like they each had what's a good word for a part to play in our development. Like Serpenta Armage, she was the one that gave us the lawgivers. Did y'all know that? Serpenta Armage, the goddess, she was the one that gave us the lawgivers: Abraham, Poe, Chania, Capelia, Zarathustra. And so when you it's like, I love the way the creator, he's just showing us, like, we go from one stage to the next stage, another stage, another stage, and another stage. And now here we are at Cosmic, and the creator is saying, now you can put the spiritual and the physical together. Now, I hope that I can start reading this, man, because there's something I want to share with y'all so bad. That's the problem, man. Sometimes I get too many things. I keep going in all different types of directions. I'm gonna try to settle down, man. Oh, wow. If anybody at any time want to intervene, you want to intervene and come on and share some insights, or you want to straighten me out when I tie myself up in knots, and hey, look, man, feel free. That's what the room is for, Let's go ahead and read the book of Thor, and then I might jump down and get to what I want to try to show is, like, the beginning, his purpose, what he, his, how he, what the effect of his ministry was on us, the character of an arc cycle, because all of them are pretty much the same. There's times of Dan Ha, and then the light towards the end of the cycle, it starts to wane, and people, they lower their vibration, their spiritual grade, it goes down. What do you, brother, think about the Middle East, man? How is it that children can die? Why? What is that, man? You know what I'm saying? Can someone please tell me what that is? Because I just don't get it, man. I just cannot get that one. I know that false gods are capable. You have to be a false god that can do. I mean, the elite of this world, the things that, the Epstein files, the things that I am hearing that they do, the Bohemian Grove over there. I used to live right near the Bohemian Grove in California. And man, you don't want to know what goes on at these places. You don't want to know. You brethren, you already know, And yet I can't, that's where we live. Book of Thor, son of Jehovah, being the records of Thor, Apollo's successor on the earth and in her heavens, from the ark of Mos to the ark of day in the Ethereal heavens. Because, see, the solar phalanx, the arachnobula, you know, we passing through, we passing through in our journey, our orbit, the red star, the solar phalanx, the serpent, and planets. We go through Ethereal world. You could pass right through an Ethereal world. It's like you can pass, they're immaterial, Ethereal worlds, but they got a vibe. It's like you go into a room and someone may say, man, I don't feel right in this room. This room give me the willies, man. Then they go somewhere else and say, wow, man, this feels good. I like it here. I don't know why. Same thing spiritually. The red star, the solar phalanx, the planets, the serpents, the planets. We pass through these Ethereal worlds, and there are areas of AG, areas of Gia, and it affects people's vibration. It could lower it, or it could raise it. For a faithist, a good solid faithist, a good bout of AG and Gia it'll raise its grade, because that's what kind of happened, man. When that lady told me she don't want to come by here anymore, that really hurt me good, man. I thought that she was, I thought she was interested in what I was saying. I thought she was interested, man. Come to turn out, man, she hate the light. She hate it. Some people will lead you. They'll make you think, for money, because they got to come to work and, and make you think they into what you're saying, and then just drop the hammer on you, man. That's the world. And I had no clue, or else I would not have said anything to her. And I didn't know. Look, man, that hurt. She hurt me good, man. She hurt me good, man. I don't like to put the creator up to ridicule like that. But chapter 1, Thor, Orion chief of Dunga. Now, I'm gonna skip some of the dry reading, what I call the dry reading, the like, genealogies of it, and try to get to the point where I want to make the points, And y'all can come on too if y'all want to add something to, or I skipped something and y'all want to touch on it, please be my guest. It says, these are the records of Thor, Apollo's successor on the earth and in her heavens, from the ark of Mos to the ark of day in the Ethereal heavens, and of 3,200 years. So here we are on the red star passing through these Ethereal heavens, and there's different vibrations in the Ethereal heavens. Hell of a mystery, man. It says, my son, behold the red star, the earth. She courses from Mos to day, and now drags in the swamps of Oahspe. Behold, you shall deliver her through your dominions 3,200 years. Even now, the dawn of Gan approaches. So they're just now getting out of the ark of Apollo. They just now getting out. Mankind is he's full of vain. He's vain, from what I understand. He's into the superficial things, the beauty of things, because Apollo came to beautify man, to make him to work on his physical appearance. And so even till today, that's a heavy vibration in the world, bodybuilding, beauty industry. They're idolized. We're heavy idolaters of people who are, they're beautiful, the beautiful bodies, it's another beast kingdom vibration. When you not that beauty is bad, but when you take it to and you dedicate yourself to that vibration, and not you, it just totally consumes you, and that's going too far. And so now here we got Thor, and that's one of the things he's going to deal with. He's got to restore the mind of man. He's got to bring him back, so to speak. Let's let the word speak for itself. Thor spoke before the Holy Council on Jehovah's Ethereal throne, saying, "Behold, the young world, the earth, comes our way. For 3,200 years she will journey in the fields of Donga." Then the Holy Council deliberated on the matters of the earth and her heavens and all other corporeal worlds that were to pass through Donga for 3,000 years. So we weren't the only one. The other planets following us. And it was found that the dawn of Dan would fall upon the earth first of all. Then Thor called for swift messengers that course the firmament in the regions of Apperway, the roadway of the earth's past history, and the swift messengers came and laid their report before the throne of Jehovah as to what world the earth was. And the harvest of angels she yielded up to the emancipated heavens. When their reports were finished and deliberated on by the Holy Council, Thor, son of Jehovah, said, "For further knowledge as to the present condition of this world, the earth, it is my command that Yathai, god of Gamado, choose 1 million volunteers and an Ariata proceed to the earth and her heavens to visit her God and lords and ascertain the condition of their angels and mortals and report back to Donga." All right. And Yathai came to the throne of God in Gal and Atmospheria and sent his lords an invitation to come also. 72 of them came. God said to Yathai, "Behold, the earth and these atmospheric heavens are full of false lords and false gods." It sounds like today. Yathai inquired how many there were. God said, "More than 30,000 gods and 160,000 lords. Behold, in every great city on earth, there is a false god or a false lord, and he has a small heavenly kingdom of his own located on the earth, and the spirits of the dead of that place are his slaves for his own exaltation." How do you see? Wow, man, help me, because I can't get my mind around it that we in a situation where if the creator don't break that power of a false god, now it might not mean that much to you, I mean, well, I can't say it like that. I know it means a lot to you that we in the situation where there's deception going on, and it's real, and the earth trying to convince us, hey, man, this ain't it. It ain't no thing. It's nothing to be worried about. It's nothing to be concerned about. Deception, bondage, spiritual, it ain't never going to happen. It's just a fairy tale. And I just can't hear that, man. I believe the creator is telling the truth that people go into bondage. If they don't redeem the time now, that you will go and you will miss the resurrection. Now, thank goodness it's not forever, but I believe that there are people right now who go into the first resurrection and they regret it, man. And they got hundreds and thousands of years to go. Now, when I read the Oahspe, I'm telling you, man, there's no getting around that fact. If the creator don't break that power, if he don't pull you out of religion, if he don't pull you out of that bondage, I hate to say it, man. I really believe that and in many of these heavenly kingdoms, there are wars, anarchy, hells, where the angels look at this. You see that? They torment one another endlessly. That's going on right now. Why? How do I know that? Because there are wars going on in the earth. Wars. That's one way I know the kingdom is not here yet. Nor will these false gods and false lords and their subjects admit that they're higher heavens than their own. The spirits of the newly dead are look at it, look at here. Look at here, man. Look. The spirits of the newly dead are captured and kept in ignorance of Jehovah and his vast creations. Like Asenath was saying the other day about how spirits, the gods of this world, false gods, they don't make the resurrection. They don't want you to make it either. And you see the pull. I mean, I'm telling you, man. The bondage, talking to Christians, trying to bring them out of that. It make you respect the Creator's power, man. The spirits of the newly dead are captured and kept in ignorance of Jehovah and his vast creations and made to bow in adoration and worship to the false Lord or false God. See there? Omian, that verse he pulled out about what they have to do. Serve their false gods. And these, in turn, being in continuity to mortals, inspire them to the same worship, which fits them at the time of their death. Look, to fall as slaves into the dominion of him who they worship. And that was something, I mean, you can never forget it, man, you know? And we in a situation where, wow, man, you can't talk to people about this type of stuff. They think they never have to be concerned about, spirituality, the resurrection, life after death, that sort of thing. It's just no big deal, man. It's like they under this vibration, it's never, it'll never happen. It's never going to happen. It's too far off to think about. The wars in heaven have inspired mortals to wars on earth. So that all around the world, unending battles are going on. Help to explain what's going on right now. And those who are slain on earthly battlefields are born into the spirit and chaos, not knowing they are dead as to the earth, and so they linger on the battlefield, still battling imaginary foes all over the earth. These battlefields are covered with spirits and chaos, with spirits of drugs, druge, yaks, ground people, who know nothing more than the beast in the field. How do you like that? How do you like what the Oahspe is saying, man? The Creator is saying. Return, therefore, O Yathai, to your Orion chief Thor, son of Jehovah, and say to him, the God of earth is powerless. The God of earth is powerless to rescue her angels and mortals from the great darkness upon them. The God of the earth is powerless to rescue her angels and mortals from the great darkness upon them, and beseech him in Jehovah's name to come and deliver my kingdoms. How do you like that, man? Unless the Creator does it. I look at people, I talk to them, when you seeing a person in bondage, man, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. If the Creator don't do something, I just can't shut up, man. If somebody give me a little door, I'll bust it open. If I get a little tiny opportunity to talk about or share the light, and then it ends up, they don't want to hear it. What people want to do is tell you how it go. People want to talk about how do I see it? People like to show how smart they are. But when it comes time for you, they don't want to hear what you have to say. They want to talk and not listen. They are interested. What does the scripture say? A fool has no desire other than his own. A fool desires his own. What does it say in the Proverbs? A fool desires something. I forget. Let me try to find it, man. I'm gonna get back to Book of Thor. What a fool desires his own speaking King James version. Proverbs, is that it? No. This is not it. It talks about the fool and his own. What? Let me try one more time. The fool's desire is his own mind, King James Version. A fool hath no delight in understanding, but that his heart may discover itself, share what it knows to others. Self-expression and revealing their own thoughts over gaining true wisdom. I hate to sound harsh, man, but that is so true. That is so true, man. The Bible speaks a lot of wisdom. It indicates that fools prefer self-expression and revealing their own thoughts over gaining true wisdom. That's why the Oahspe is not very popular. When people hear that accountability, they don't want none of that smoke, man. They don't want none of that smoke. And Creator says, but how am I going to test you? How am I going to test you, man? Yet I inquired about the races of men on earth, and as to the times of their termination. God said, in 12,400 years, the Ahin race, the mound builders, will come to an end. And at that time, the Gans will have triumphed over all the lands and waters of the earth. When Yetai had obtained the required information and also learned the localities of the divisions of the earth and her heavens, he departed in his Ariata with his companions and visited all the chief places, and then returned to Donga and Etheria before Thor, son of Jehovah, to whom he reported all he had learned as to the condition of the earth and her heavens. Then came the light of Jehovah to Thor, saying, my son, take a sufficient host of Etherians, and go to the red star in her heavens and deliver them in my name. Thor called in 30 million volunteers, and he provided an Abalanza, an Etherian ship of fire, in which they embarked for the red star, where they would remain 4 years, 238 days, which was called the Dawn of Dan for Thor of Donga. 4 years, 238 days, a dawn of Dan, a time of high light influence is going to be very high. Oh, shoot, man. I forgot to share the screen. Good thing Dave ain't here. He used to always ding me on that, man. I miss that brother, man. I don't know. He must not know. I thought I sent him a message letting you know I'm back up. So I don't know if he got it yet, but it says, let's see. Then onward through Etheria sped Thor and his 30 millions through the swamps of Asaph and the fields of Brodwooski, through the ethereal seas of Hosonia toward the ark of Moss, and then the Chinvat to the boundary of the earth's vortex. Y'all know what Chinvat is, right? Chinvat? That's where, shoot, I forget. Chinvat is the dividing line. It's when you leave, I think Chinvat is when you leave Atmospheria, you cross over to Etheria, the bridge of Chinvat. It says the boundary of the Earth's vortex. Yeah, okay. Chinvat is the boundary of the Earth's vortex. From what I understand, man, when you cross Chinvat, man, that's the end of the Tetrax. That's the end of the evil vibrations, man. Chinvat. It says, nor did he halt there, but sped onward in his ship of fire for Gal, the throne of God. God and his lords, being apprised of Thor's coming, had the capital prepared for the reception, and they all gathered in. And they had gathered in all the angels of the second resurrection, as many of the first as chose to come. In all, there were assembled in Gal 900 million angels, Faithus and Jehovah. Of these, no more than 1 million had ever seen an Ethereum, nor had they visited farther outward from the earth than the seventh plateau in Atmospheria. Among these, even into the heavenly capital of Gal alighted Thor and his 30 millions. After due salutations in the manner of gods and goddesses, a day of recreation was proclaimed from the throne of God, and the Atmospherians and Etherians mingled together joyfully. Then Thor ascended on the throne of God, and he ordained as follows: 1 million constables to go to the false lords, false gods, and arrest them, bring them to Gal for judgment. 1 million captors to possess the thrones and temples of the false lords and false gods and hold them. 8 million captors to gather in the angel slaves and all the hate in heavens. 6 million dispersers to overthrow and disperse the hells, which are the heavenly battlefields of spirits and chaos. 6 million physicians to disrupt fetals from mortals. 2 million founders of Estian nurseries for the spirits of infants and helpless ones born into heaven before the full time. 1 million founders of hospitals for chaotic angels and others stricken with disease, 500,000 marshals, 500,000 messengers, 3 million builders. And when these had been selected by the proper officers, they were dispatched to their places and duties. All this administration, man, to bring the earth back. All these administrate these occupations, man, to restore the earth. $8 million captors to gather in angel slaves, 6 million dispersers to overthrow, disperse the hells. It's a lot of people, man. 6 million physicians to disrupt fetals from mortals. You know what I want to do, man? I want to play a little snippet of 30 Years Among the Dead. I want to play a little snippet, man, of 30 Years Among the Dead for y'all. So I'm a hit and skip here so I can get to the end. And when these had been selected by the proper officers, they were dispatched. Then Thor reorganized the Council of Gal for the period of Dawn. 1 year, all the false lords and gods and goddesses were captured and brought to Gal, nor did Thor pass judgment upon them until they were all brought in. And in this occasion, millions of angels were assembled in Gal to witness the proceedings. Thor said to them, do you not perceive that my power is greater than yours? How can that be? I only have 30 million. And of you, there are more than 30 billion. What makes me more powerful? Behold, I've arrested all your heavens and heavenly rulers. How is this? Where did my power come from? And you know what? Questions. These questions, you know what I've seen? We live in a place where people don't even ask questions. Like when you talk to somebody and you ask something they can't answer, they don't even ask questions. They just reject it. We live in a place where instead of people, it's like I've just seen too much of it to believe it's not to believe it's true. It's really a form of pride where there are very few people who you can say something and they just hear it for what it is. They don't have to feel like you got one over on them, so they can't let you feel that way. And so they just put up a wall and they fight you. Don't want you to think that you're smarter than them or, won't ask questions, man. They don't believe in themselves. They don't believe that, because from what I understand, man, we're such a lying society. I mean, and it starts, I think, with those who rule over us. When a lie, like when you lie, when you just don't even, it seemed like if you don't care, if you don't emphasize the importance of character, having some dignity. I think I can see where that leads to. It leads to where we are right now. It leads to where we are right now. You get people ruling over you who are only interested in their welfare. And the Oahspe said that was going to happen. Y'all remember that famous verse I always show y'all? Only rogues were going to inherit your high offices. We seeing that right before our eyes right now. But I digress, man. I digress, man. He's asking them questions. Why don't you consider why I only have 30 million? You got 30 billion. And I waxed you with 30 million. You got 30 billion. How did that happen? He says. Have you ever thought to consider that? Where did my power come from? Not one could answer Thor. Then Thor said, my army is a unit. Yours are divided, one against another. Yes, each one was in anarchy. This I declare to you, Jehovah. This I declare to you, Jehovah, first of all, in his creations, which he has given to all his creatures, to learn to master the elements of earth and heaven. This is the foundation for acquiring all power. Because you bound yourselves in heavenly places on the earth, you did not rise up to the places prepared for you. Answer me now. How does the world stand as to what will come? Now let's read this footnote over here. Let's see what it says. It says, that is, what is the condition, rank, grade of the earth in reference to that which is coming? Many of the false lords and false gods answered in the following manner: I fear to speak my mind, lest in anger you cast me in hell. Thor said, he who has learned to know Jehovah and serve him fears nothing on earth or in heaven. Fear is nothing but the manifestation of weakness. Speak therefore what you desire. No harm shall come to you. Then many of them said, this I perceive, O God. Out there lie the earth and many heavens. The strongest mortals rule over the weaker mortals. Ain't that the truth? Then many of them said, this I perceive, O God. Out there lie the earth and many heavens. The strongest mortals rule over the weaker mortals. Yeah, that's America for you, especially. That's the kingdom of man. I remember George Bush said one time, weakness tempts the aggressor. That's the law of the beast kingdom. That is certainly true, man. The strong will take advantage. That's why it's called capitalism. The strong will capitalize over the weak, man. The strongest gods rule over the weaker gods. Therefore, make me your slave. I am content. Then Thor said, a greater hardship I give you all. I give you your liberty and freedom. Go, therefore, wherever you desire. Ask not one to serve me, but instead I say, go serve Jehovah by lifting up whoever is beneath you. They answered, where shall we go? We do not know the way from one heaven to another, nor the way down to the earth. You say, go serve Jehovah by lifting up those who are beneath us. Now, truly, we cannot even lift up ourselves. If we had great riches or power or wisdom, then we would willingly assist those that willingly assist, and then we would willingly assist those beneath us. In other words, if we hit the lottery, then we can go about doing all the good in the world. Thor said, you are gods of darkness. I say to you, do not wait for any of these things, but go at once, serve Jehovah. They answered, when we have first provided a way for ourselves, then we will serve him. Thor said, you have spoken the darkness of the entire world. I say to you, go serve Jehovah first, and after that come to me, so I may see if you lack anything. They answered, how can one serve Jehovah by lifting others up, if he has no clothes or food or habitation? Thor said, it is well you ask that question, but I say direct that question to your own soul. And behold, the Father will answer you. Let that be the question you ask yourselves every hour of the day. Be watchful for an opportunity to answer it by the labor of your own hands. See what the footnote says. Thus, for example, how can one proceed without resources, the wherewithal to induce others upward? How can you help How can you help resurrect people without money? Then the false gods and false lords were dismissed from custody. Thor commanded that the light of the throne and the pillars of heavenly fire be raised to a higher grade. False lords and false gods desired to flee because of the brilliancy of the light, but did not know where to go. Now, see, that brings me back to what happened. You know, the light of the Oahspe is so bright, man, it can produce it can make people mad. I mean, it can make them angry. It can make them flee. It can make them, you know, the light. It says here, Thor commanded the light of the throne and the pillars of heavenly fire to be raised to a higher grade. The false lords and false gods desired to flee because of the brilliancy of the light, but did not know where to go. And that's the same situation in the world today. That's the same situation in the world today. You come with the Oahspe, you come with the Creator, new revelation, anything that is different than what they're used to, that is too bright, man, especially if it makes sense. Can't hear it. That's too bright. Don't want it. Thor said to them, "Why have you assumed to be lords and gods, since you cannot even master the elements of the lower heavens? I say to you, the regions of Jehovah's universe are boundless. Let no one assume to do that which he cannot do, but little by little learn to master the elements surrounding him, and he will in time learn to traverse Jehovah's beautiful firmament, and indeed be a fit companion for gods and goddesses." Then the false lords and gods spoke, saying, "Oh, if only we had someone to teach us, someone to show us the way to learn." Then Thor, perceiving that they were in proper disposition for resurrection, allotted certain teachers and disciplinarians to them, and they were taken into educational colonies and put to work. There you go. They humbled themselves. They finally humbled themselves. They finally broke, man. They broke. And then they were ready for resurrection. They were ready, proper disposition for resurrection. And it's the same, I sometimes look at the world and think like, man, you just one step away from, you know what? Remember that time that Jesus said, "Thou art not far from the kingdom of God," that rich young ruler? He didn't want to depart from his riches. Or was it, let me see, let me read the account. He said, "Thou art not far from the kingdom of God." And to me, it reminds me of the whole world, man. Thou art not far from the kingdom of God. Mark 12:34, Jesus tells the scribe, "You are not far from the kingdom of God," because the man wisely recognized that loving God and neighbor is more important than ritual sacrifices. While the scribe understood the spirit of the law, he was not far, rather than in the kingdom, as he needed to move from intellectual assent to personal faith. Yeah, he wasn't a lot of people like that. They are not far from the kingdom of God, but they will not let go of that deity. That's the last thing right there. Good people, man. Good people will not break. They will not break. Thor said, chapter 3, to induce men and angels to find a way of resurrection, this is the greatest of all teaching. Man says, "Oh God, raise your servant, come and get me, raise me up, save me." And the Lord says, "Hold up your hands and I'll lift you up." But man will not. Man says, "Send wise and holy angels to me, O Lord, to guide me in righteousness and good works." And the Lord says, that which you ask of God, even so do to your fellows. But man will not. As it is with man on earth, even so do we find and hate in heaven. The footnote says, so for example, if you ask for love, then give love to your fellow humans. If you ask for wisdom, then impart wisdom for the wholesome benefit of others. If you ask for power, be willing to harmoniously work with others toward a good and worthy goal. But all too often, man will not follow through in the second part of the arrangement, for he desires the fruit, but he don't want to work for it. Hands-on by their own efforts. So that's another footnote. The first passion of man is to eat, to induce angels to develop themselves by taking hold with their own hands and by the exercise of their own talents. This is the work of the Lord's. To rule over them without their knowing it, so as to lead them in the right way. This is wisdom. The first passion of man is to eat. The second is sexual desire. The third, to make others serve him. Isn't that something? And if he accomplishes the latter, then he indeed is the prince of evil, for he then holds dominion to the hurt of others. Yep. Want to rule over your brethren. Want to rule over your brethren, man. You know, that's the history of man, you know. That's the history of man. You want to rule over your brethren to their hurt. That's why the system we got, capitalism, it can't work. It cannot work, man. Every year, people who run for office, all they got to do is present a good image, maybe for a year during the primaries, get elected, and then you can just kiss everybody else goodbye. That's basically what Trump did, you know, talk real sweet, talk real good, preaching populism. As soon as he got in office, it was all over with. He showed his true colors. Had people thinking, oh, he's a changed man, you know, he's going to speak up for the people. He's going to, you know, he's going to be an advocate for the disenfranchised. He speaks real good, man. He's got a gift for speaking. He gets in and his true colors come right out. He's a money man. He's a money man, and he's only interested in his rich constituents. And it's been that, how long have we been under that situation? But see, the creator, what he do? And even the creator's program fails sometimes, in the sense that false gods, they fall. We reading about them. They get restored. We reading about some, and they go through hundreds and thousands of years of learning and, you know, schooling and instruction, and even after all that, now I believe they are the exception and not the rule, you know. But the creator, he tests a man, he puts him, he tests him for a long, the creator is the only one that can legislate the human heart, man. He's the only one that can do it, and he used time. I remember that movie, The Shawshank Redemption, Morgan Freeman. He said all that, I forget that guy's name that he mentioned. He said all that he had was time and pressure. Time and pressure, because he was talking about somebody that got sentenced to prison for a long time. And he said all that man had was time and pressure. And it's the same for us. For faith, it's time and pressure. Time and pressure. Remember that agricultural hothouse? That's how the creator, that's how he legislates the human soul. That's how he do it. He puts you in the crucible of time. Time and pressure, man. You know, time and pressure, just like a garden. You know, creator, he wait, just like Jesus of the New Testament says, he prunes his garden, and then he prunes it again so that it'll bring forth more fruit. And that's us. We get pruned to take off them tetracts, man. To take them tetracts off. Those evil vibrations, they rise up within you, make you want to do evil, man. You know, don't got to be no reason. You know, it's just a vibration that come over you, you know, where you just, you know what I mean? The tetracts. As man builds these habitations in his soul on earth, how vain becomes his effort for happiness. These habitations is talking about this up here. As man builds these habitations, passion to eat. That's why you can't come talking about don't eat meat, man. I told one dude, he said, "What about that Oahspe, man?" He said, what is it talk about that the Bible don't talk about?" And this is when I first came into the Oahspe. I said, one of the things that I found was amazing was that the Creator says He don't want you eating meat. And the dude said, "Oh no, man, no, hell no, man, I love meat too." And the dude was this was I was going to the 7-Eleven, and I used to, when I was in California, and I would pass him, and we strike up a conversation, and I saw that. I mean, he had like a tent over his front yard, inviting people to pray, right? And so I struck up a conversation a couple of times, and I tried to share the light with him. And he said, "Well, what's different about the Oahspe than the Bible?" I said, "One of the things is I found out he don't want us eating meat, And he said, "Oh no, no." He said, "I love meat too much, man. I said, "Oh man, forget it, man." I said, there's spiritual implications to doing that stuff. I don't know what it is, but I believe it. I said, "You can do it. If I could do it, anybody could do it." I was a champion meat eater back in my day. A dog would see me, man, and bust out of jail to get away from me. You can do it, man. And that's where we live. That is one of the strongest, and it says, the Creator says, if man builds these habitations in his soul on earth, how vain becomes his effort for happiness in heaven, man. To me, that's a serious admonition, man. I can't explain why I believe it, but I do. I really believe that. There's consequences, He said to teach him to undo all his past and to make full restitution of others. This is the work of gods and lords over spirits of darkness. Thor established 2,000 educational colonies in Atmospheria, besides innumerable places of manufacturing and building, teaching the angels of heaven how to provide habitations for those born of earth in the spirit life. In 3 years of dawn, Thor had prepared 4 billion brides and bridegrooms for Ethereal ascension. Now, all this time, the angels of Atmospheria have been taught much in regard to the emancipated kingdoms in Etheria and of the splendor, majesty, and power of gods and goddesses living there. I believe that, man. I truly believe there's a majesty we don't know about. There's a splendor we don't know about. The Creator said, He said, try to imagine it. He said, try to think of these things. He said, you won't be able to do it. Now, there are people who could run wild in their imaginations. You know what I mean? If you look at the earth, when people have the opportunity to build their house, you see what type of mansions they build, right? Basically, the Creator is saying, ain't nothing you could think of that can match the majesty and the glory that I speak of in my kingdoms. Now, I really believe that. I believe that with all my heart, man. I know faithists do. That's why we keep going. We just can't, you just can't break a faithist, man. You can't break him. He's made of concrete. The Creator he breaks that bondage. Thor spoke from the throne of God before the holy council, saying, "Send swift messengers with greetings to Batatis, goddess of Tiro and Etheria, and say to her, thus says Thor, Jovi's son, Orion, chief of Dunga, come to the heavens of the earth. I have 4 billion brides and bridegrooms as Jehovah's harvest. Provide an Ariata of great size and splendor, for its presence shall enchant my people." Okay, so now I'm going to jump down. And I want to get to the part where the darkness starts to set on the earth, the end of the arc cycle. And it's where, it's a terrible thing, man, that it's a recurring theme in the Oahspe. The end of the arc cycle, and people, their vibration starts getting lower and lower, and pull of the earth gets stronger and stronger. Thor sent, let me see. Thor called up Wak, god of Rhines, and said to him, Jehovah's put a sore travail upon these heavens. Go to Halu and command him to provide an avalanche sufficient to deliver 20 billion atmospherians to the Aegean forest of Ganea, where the inhabitants of these heavens are too dark to endure the vosin of 100 years and would be precipitated to the earth and engaged in fetalism. Thor sent word to his lords and marshals, informing them also of his command and further commanding them to bring all the lowest grades of angels from all parts of the earth and heaven to be concentrated in Gal, where the avalanche was comforted. So they come to, when they reorganize the lower heavens, then the lower grades, the people whose grades are too low to make the resurrection, get provided places in atmosphere for their resurrection. So let me jump down. As for the remaining time of dawn, Thor traveled all regions of the earth and her heavens, making records of these to be carried with him. Peace and prosperity were established on earth and heaven by the time of the expiration of the dawn. By the time the expiration of the dawn of Thor arrived, and now the time came for his own ascent with his hosts, leaving the earth and her heavens in the care of God and lords. So Thor, son of Jehovah, sent swift messengers to Adyria, asking to be delivered, asking for the deliverance of 6 billion brides and bridegrooms to Jehovah. Okay, so let me go to chapter 6, the last chapter. Again, the earth and heaven prospered for another season of 200 years, and in the next stand there were 5 billion souls delivered, and new gods and goddesses, or new gods and lords succeeded, who also prospered, but not as well. The next harvest was 4 billion souls. But once again, false lords and false gods began to set up kingdoms of their own in heaven and in the cities of mortals. And lo and behold, everyone called himself either Thor or Apollo. And the spirits who manifested in the temples and for the oracles all have one of these names, and mortals were obsessed. They believed themselves to be the reincarnation of Apollo or Thor. The obsessing spirits calling themselves by these names, others more intelligent said, did the prophets not foretell that there would be a second coming of Apollo? Did the prophets not foretell that there was to be a second coming of Apollo? And are these spirits who appear through the Sargis not the very person? So now they fall into superstition. So great became the superstition of the nations of the earth that in the fall of a leaf, they found proof of the second coming of Apollo or Thor. Many of the spirits deserted the second resurrection in heaven and returned to earth to wait for the information concerning this coming event, as they supposed, though there was no event coming. Jehovah said, all corporeal worlds pass through the age of too much belief. As I gave man judgment so that he could examine and weigh a matter, so does he run unto unbelief. Then my angels go to him and show him where he believed too little. But lo, he goes to the other extreme, believing all things and not using his judgment. God said, why will men and angels not be patient and wait till a matter is proven meritorious before they pursue it to extremes? The same sun shines, the same stars stand in the heavens, and the earth travels steadily on her way. Yes, her winds blow, her summers and winters, in ancient time, yet man sets up notion that a great wonder is near. How shall I restrain him, O Jehovah? Their desires for Apollo call down millions of spirits from my places of resurrection, and they fall in trials and hardships and become suitable prey for designing false gods and false lords. But no other salutation came other than the echo of God's own words. So God and his lords bewailed the darkness of the earth and her heavens, but high up in the ethereal heavens came the light of Jehovah, came the voice of Jehovah saying, "Hear your creator, O you gods and goddesses, behold the magnitude of my works. I do not labor for the profit of this man or that man, no, neither for this people nor the people, for the inhabitants of one star and one heaven, but for the glory of millions of stars and millions of heavens. Does one corporal man not bewail a shower of rain? And yet his neighbor rejoices because of it. One man prays for sunshine and another for shade. Do not think that I labor for each one separately, but for the perfection of the whole. For what reason then shall the God of earth and his lords bewail the darkness that falls on the earth at this time?" Oh, there's a purpose for the creator, for the things, for the reason, for the light and the darkness. I have prepared places of darkness in the ethereal firmament and places of light. My corporal worlds must travel through them. That's us, a red star. For so I created them. And these places of darkness and places of light are like changes of seasons for my harvest. That agricultural hothouse for us, the fetus, the conditions that are conducive for our growing, producing the greatest fruit. You know, Sometimes they come in there, they clip our branches, and give a little rain, a little water, a little sunshine. You know, Now the earth passes into deep darkness, for I fructify the fruits races of men, meaning he fructify means he makes them bear fruit. The races of men in new corporeal growth for things that shall come afterward, as they absorb from the AG of my places in this age, so also do their souls become full of superstition and darkness. Thus the earth went through great darkness during the last 600 years of the cycle of Thor. There was no harvest from her from the ethereal heavens, but the spirits deserted atmospheria and millions upon millions and went down to the earth to dwell with mortals and to find places to live in the corporeal earth. Okay, let me see how much for. Oh, I'm almost done. And except to the eye hens, the light of Jehovah was shut out from men. This ambition for improvement was at an end. They became like drones and vagabonds, and when they died, their spirits continued to lie about in the places of their mortal life. And many of these spirits persuaded mortals to suicide. And many of these spirits persuaded mortals to suicide. And they killed themselves by thousands and tens of thousands, nor was there any courage among men to endure anything under the sun. They wanted to be with the spirits of the dead, to talk with them, to see them, be rid, to be finished with earthly trials. Neither did the spirits who congregated on earth have any knowledge of the higher heavens, nor could they impart knowledge as to where they dwelt, nor how they employed their time. For in fact, they did nothing useful in heaven or earth, nor even for themselves. Thus ended the cycle of Thor, and it was 3,200 years. And then when you get into the Lord's fourth book, it goes more into detail about the things that took place on the earth. So the ark of Thor. And so people, a couple of things you can see here: the righteousness that he restores to reorganizing brethren who had fallen from false gods and false lords, to explaining helping us to understand the purpose of AG and Gia. The Creator says he does that for not for the glory of any particular people, but for his whole multitude of worlds, millions and millions of planets, corporeal worlds. And that's our situation. From what I could see, I would think that we are in a time we have to be in some sort of time of AG simply because of the wars, the low spiritual grades that are in the world today, the things that we are hearing about that people who rule over us do, the love of money, the love of self, the tetracts, the pull of the tetracts on the earth, the vibration that leads people downward. The Lord's fourth book. Okay, so another time we can get into that. It's contemporary with the book of Thor, goes into more detail of things that were happening on the earth. Whereas the book of Thor is kind of like a good overview of the spiritual side of the Red Star reality, the spiritual side, the things that were going on in heaven. So let me go to the comments, the room. Let me go to the room and see what's going on. Dave! All right. Long time no see, brother. Good to see you, man. Sharice and her 7 children. Bishop and Greg. Boy, y'all were talking a lot, man. What's going on here? The oh shoot, man. I missed a lot. Does anybody want to come on the channel? I'm getting ready to read from some questions that I was asking Grok. I think you brother might like it from the Oahspe. Y'all were really chopping it up here, man. I didn't see that. Well, thanks for holding it down for me. Yeah, vicarious atonement. Yeah. Man, it's good to see you, Dave. Good to see you, man. How you been? See, I'm all the way at the bottom. Sheree said, I had oral surgery the day before yesterday. I would love to come on and oh, okay. Well, that's all right. Maybe in the future sometime. It's good to see you, Sharice. I'm gonna go ahead and read from the yeah, do that then. I'm gonna go ahead and read from I and I recommend this for you brethren too. AI, it can either be good or bad. You have to watch it though. I like to sit and ask it questions about the Oahspe. I like to sit and ask it questions. It makes mistakes, but it's a real blessing. It helps you to see the world and it's like it helps you to what's a good word for read beneath the lines of the world, you know, the way that people act, the light that let me just show you what I mean. Let me go and share some questions that I was asking that I asked AI about the Oahspe. Y'all might like this. If it'll ever let it come up. Y'all might like this. Let's see. Here are some questions that I asked it. Sometimes I just like to sit, and if questions come to my mind, I like to ask it and see what the Oahspe has to say about anything. Check this out. I think you can see it. Let me go. Let me see if you can see it. Okay. I mean, I ask any old thing, you know. Here's something I asked it. I said, how come people do not like the Oahspe? How come people don't like the Oahspe, man? You know, how come it's such a hard time trying to get someone to hear and rejoice over it? You know, and this is what it said. It said people have a wide range of reactions to Oahspe. Some find it fascinating, inspiring, or even profound as spiritual cosmology, while others strongly dislike, dismiss, or criticize it. Here are the main reasons why a lot of people do not like Oahspe, based on historical reception, reviews, and common critiques. Number one, claims of being a new Bible or direct revelation. That trips me out, man. You know, it just shows you about human nature, man. People will not change. You cannot put new wine in the old wineskins. Well, you can't efface this. You can do it to efface this. It says, Oahspe, number one, claims of being a new Bible or direct revelation. Oahspe presents itself as a modern revelation from higher beings, angel ambassadors of Jehovah, rewriting or expanding on religious history, cosmology, and ethics. This is seen by many as presumptuous or blasphemous, especially in Christian contexts. Number two, it contradicts core biblical teachings. Jesus as sole Savior, eternal God, salvation by grace, faith rather than works, service. You know, that makes me think of something, man. You know, Christianity says there is no salvation by any. What does it say? It says something like, for no man can, or you know, where it points to like, like. Let me give you a famous saying that he who believeth not in me is damned, is damned or whatever, you know. Um, he who believes in me shall not suffer. You know, you brother know what I mean, right? All the verses that talk about how you have to believe in order to be saved. But then if you look at the world, man, you know, can somebody get you a job and go to work for you and you get paid? I mean, you know what I'm saying? The logic should alone help people to see what is truth. You know what I mean? Why? I mean, if you have to go to work yourself, you got to provide for yourself. But when it comes to spirituality, we can just, you know, we can, you know, put it on somebody. We can, you know, we can count on somebody saving us. You know what I mean? I'm trying to just show that the it don't, you know, what's a good word for contradiction? On the earth, we got an example. You have to do for yourself, man. You got to go to work. You have to provide for yourself. No one can do that for you or is willing to do it for you. It's the same way in the spirit. But it's supposed to be the same way in the spirit, but it's not. You see, that's a good deal. If you can, I remember Asenath was telling me a story, or she was telling us a story about some movie where this one dude, everything that he did wrong, they took it out on somebody else. That's Christianity. You know, that's cool with people. Somebody pay for, you ain't going to reform a man like that. There ain't no way, man. You ain't going to reform anybody with that type of deal. You mean to tell me I can go out and rob a bank? You got to go to jail? That's cool with me, you know? And that's what Christianity is saying. It's what any of the savior religions is. Well, in Mohammedism, they teach more responsibility than probably any. They'll flog you. You know, they got things like honor killings. You know, they they get off on beating the hell out of themselves. You know, flogging themselves. You know, Allah was not pleased. You know, beating the hell out of himself. You know, I'm not good enough. I need to draw more of my own blood. You know, so we go to extremes, man. It's like you got one faith that says, "Hey, man, all you got to do is believe, and then it's all good." And then the other one says, "I'm not. I got to beat the hell out of myself." And here the Creator is saying, "Hey, man, save yourself, not beating the hell out of yourself, but putting down what you know is not right, the evil vibration, and you treat people right, serve them." You know, and besides, I don't know, man. I get a real kick out of that. I really don't. I really can't care too much about a high spiritual grade. I just can't, man. I get a kick out of doing things for people. I don't want to sound like Mary Poppins, man. But I like that. It makes me feel like I'm doing something. When you give, man, when you try to give, rather than receive, it's more blessed to give than receive. And by the way, anybody in this room, if I know you, I pretty much know you. Or even if I don't, man, and you want the 6 volume set, why don't you let me get it for you? If you want the 6 volume set, I won't run. I ain't afraid. Me no chicken. I'll get it for you for free. The unknown mini. All you got to do is tell me you want it. Maybe a little short on funds. It's cool. I can dig it. You know, the unknown many, put it out, and all it do is just point to verses in the Oahspe to try to spark your interest. This is what it looked like. I'll show you what the inside of the Oahspe looked like. This is what it looked like on the inside. You know, save yourself, man. Redeem yourself, man. Do battle with yourself. You know, it's better when you do the work, man. You clean yourself up. It makes sense. I'm sorry. It makes sense to me, man. It makes sense. I want to be cleaned up, from the inside, you know? And the creator said, yeah, you can do it. See, this is what the inside of the Oahspe topical survey looked like. And if a brother or sister want one, all you got to do is get in contact with me. I'll give it to you for free. I'm rooting for the creator, man. That's all I know. I'm not trying to get the highest position, so I can rule over brethren, King Yaikwab. Hey, man, that don't appeal to Mahalia. She the same way, you know. She says she ain't all trying to, be a goddess or don't really care too much about it. She just like doing what's right, you know. These are from the Oahspe. This is from book 1. There are 6 books, so I'll give you a little idea of what's in there. Creator, I love it, man. I love it. So that's just I love to show you, what the everywhere you open the Oahspe is just full of wisdom and refreshment. It's too bad that we live in a situation where people are too jaded. They too false gods, pull of the world, the flesh. It's too strong, man. To the point where you can't even make sense and have somebody hear what you're saying. It's like what I was thinking of a I was thinking of a funny situation that it has like some spiritual truth to it, where religion, it's like if you get a man who's drowning and a Muslim throw him a life raft, he throw the life raft back because he's not another Christian, you know. I mean, if you get the point of trying to we're division, you know, division, bound, bondage. Like the Bible says, I suffer not a woman to teach, right? So you got a brother in the water, right? And this is it's a form of teaching you, warning you, you know. Hey, it's a shark behind you. The Bible says, a woman shall not teach a man. All right. You know? All right. Don't listen to me then. And then he turned around and that shark say, hey, blood, hold on a second while I put this napkin around my neck, you know, because I'm throw a little salt and pepper on you, and then I'm gonna gobble you up. No, you're a woman, so I can't listen to you. How crazy is that? You know what I'm saying? How crazy is that? You know, wisdom is not bound to, you know, yet that's what it tried. Religion is, it is, I can make that analogy. You know what I'm saying? It's that crazy in some respects. It's that crazy in some respects. An imbalance of spirit and matter. Beginning of Lord and God uses one name. The beginning of Lord, people think Lord God, you know, Lord God Almighty. Creator says, here, this is the beginning right here. This is where it began. Osiris. He said, you shall give one Lord to every city and oracle, but every Lord shall profess Jehovah and to being his son. And this was also accomplished. And when the people consulted the oracles as to who the Spirit was, the answer was Jehovah through his son, Lord of earth, or God of earth. But it was made lawful to use the names Lord God with audible voice, and they were thus used and spoken of by mortals as the substantive words permissible in public in the place of the name Jehovah. After this, the names Lord and God were worshipful. Who is Satan? Again, they would say, who is Satan and his attendants? You shall answer, whoever professes any name except the Great Spirit is of Satan, which pertains to self, which pertains to self. Book of Osiris, chapter 9. Sample of the college curriculum in heaven. To reform your spouse is the greatest. Earthly things can bring bondage. And you know what, man? I wanted to read something real quick. I wanted to read something else. I wanted to read something else from Radiance Anthology. Here's the sticker I got for my car. See that? The sticker, magnetic sticker. Put that on your car. You don't even got to say nothing to nobody. See, got the link on there. Universal Faithist of Cosmin. Only hope for mankind. Now, here's something that I wanted to share with y'all real quick. Light of Cosmin and Radiance Anthology. I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to see if anybody, Dave is in here. I'm going to see if anybody, you know, want to come on. Hi, Kizzy. Haven't seen you in a while. I'm back. Good to see you. I remember you. I remember you. Anybody want to come on? Chop it up. I'll put the link in the room. Let me put the link in the room. Yes, Sharice. Save us from what but your own self? Anybody want to come on? Anybody want to come on? Share a little bit? Talk a little bit? It's Friday. what you learning, what you think is going to happen from now till 2049. I don't know if I know that from what I understand, what I think I understand, like we in the time right now of a lot of friction going on. There's a lot of conflagration going on. And from what I understand, I I uh I I asked the AI that about what does it mean, the conflicts that are going on right now, like primarily in the Middle East. And it gave me an answer, and I agree with it in the sense that it was saying these are the what you would call the final moments of the kingdom of man and his conflicts and wars. Now, I I happen to believe that that's true because that chart, if you remember that chart I was sharing with y'all from the Radiance anthology, it said the light was going to keep increasing, going higher and higher. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that the present situation is going to serve people because a lot of people right now, they really are, from what I could see when I go online and I listen to people talk about their reality, they talk a lot about God. They wonder after God, but they don't know, they can't find the light. And they realize that they are in a situation. Matter of fact, it just came back to me. I want to play a little bit of 30 Years Among the Dead. I want y'all to hear that. Have y'all heard about that video, 30 Years Among the Dead? I want y'all to hear a little bit about what goes on with spirits right now. Now, let me set the stage. 30 years, let me bring it up. 30 Years Among the Dead. This video here, I was talking about it. This is one good video for you, brethren. And this is a psychoanalyst whose wife could be channeled. She could channel the spirits that have passed on, the angels, and it's just like the Oahspe say. He was going to allow angels, spirits, and mortals to interface face to face. And this is a video that is proof of that. Let me stop this for a second because you can't hear it. This guy spent 30 years doing this research of speaking with spirits, of the spirits that had passed on, and they used his wife as a channel for him to talk to them. And 30 years he chronicled the research that he was doing. So, and there's a consistency to it in the sense that there are he's trying to, he sounded like he was a faithist, and he was trying to witness the light to them and to pull them out of false gods, false lords. And it's broken up into segments, like the spirits having different names, sometimes men, sometimes are women. Let me see if I could play a little bit of this for y'all, give you an idea of this video. It is really impactful, man. Very impactful. Very impactful. Can y'all hear me? Can someone type 1 if you can hear me okay? Someone type 1. Please, 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 please. Can anybody hear me? Testing, testing, testing. Good, good, Sharice, thanks. There's my friend Dave. Brother! Why do you like to hide, man? You were waiting for me to share the screen. I didn't give you the opportunity, though, brother. I didn't give it to you. Okay. Hey, check this video out. I'm ready to play. I'm going to play a little bit of it. 30 Years Among the Dead. I'm going to go to the middle of the video, and y'all going to get a idea of what this is all about. So let me switch microphones here. Okay, and then when I start playing it, just let me know if y'all can hear it, okay? Okay, let's see what happens. Can y'all hear anything? Probably not. Is there any sound coming to y'all? Let me. Is there any sound coming to y'all? It should. I'm playing it now. Is there any sound coming through? Because I probably have to unplug something. Can you guys hear anything? The video is playing. No sound, Dave says. Hold on. Can you hear my voice? Can you hear my voice? Okay, let me hold on a second. Stood right beside me when I woke up from the sleep of death. It was life is queer. If each one of you could see the experiences gone through by those who go into the sleep of death. Dad, I had a little knowledge of the next life, not much, but a little, and it helped. I could realize that the change of death had taken place. I recognized my relatives and friends. Uncle F.6 says I should tell you that I was much better off than he was when he passed to the other side, and that now his work is to help the unfortunate ones who do not understand the real life. Dad, wasn't it queer that I should wake up to about me? Can you hear my voice too? Can my voice be heard too while the video is playing? Okay. I can't hear the video, but if y'all can hear it, then that's good. Video stop playing. It shouldn't. It should still be going on.
Great. Not good. You have to put some. I told people if you want to imagine this. They call it is terrible. I have to measure how close it should be. He said, come, we came to a I can't describe I felt so such people as with I cannot imagine you. I enjoy it. I cannot enjoy looking up to where you come from. Spirit separates my initiatives. I cannot do on. SD. No. Not SD. I cannot influence so confused. Not where you think we should be. SD. Where my home is. Not to what's the SD. Of course. No. No. It seems to me everything will not be good. If you say, I'm when you do that,
Okay. Okay, I'm back on the mic now. I'm back on the mic, and it's kind of choppy. I don't know what the problem is. The way the guy talks, it's kind of broken too. On the video, he kind of speaks in broken. Okay, sorry. Muted. I didn't know it. The video, the guy speaking, he kind of speaks in broken English. I don't know how it sounds on y'all end though. I don't know what it's probably something I'm doing here. I can't figure it out, but at least I wanted to give you an idea of what that video is about. 30 years among the dead. It's probably a setting I got on my computer. I can't figure it out right now. I'll try to figure it out at some point. Even right now, I'm trying to see if there's something I could do. I don't know what I can't figure it out right now, but it's probably a connection on my side. But I wanted to give you an idea of what that video is all about. And they have the lyrics in addition to the audio. So it's one good way to follow along. But all right. So I'm gonna go ahead and unless anybody wants to come on and share anything, then probably good enough time for me to go ahead and close the video down. So, brethren, thank you for joining me. If anybody, again, wants to the 6-volume set, the Oahspe, the topical study, I'm sending it to you for free. If you just contact me and just give me the information, then I'll be more than happy. So if anybody, unless somebody wants to come on and give a final word or anything, then there's something that I wanted to. I clicked off of it. I clicked off of the links to try to get the audio to come back, but I'll probably just do it next time. I was going to go to some more questions that I asked on AI about the Oahspe and anything that came to my mind. And it was pretty interesting, some of the answers that I got. So anyway, but I'm going to go ahead and wait about 10, 12 seconds. And if no one wants to come on, then I guess this is a good time as any for me to go ahead and shut it down. And same bat time, same bat channel Tuesday and Friday. I'm trying to hold to that schedule. So, and next week is the big week, man. That's the big week, man. I meet with the University of Arizona. Hopefully the creator will use me to help them to implement that into the Oahspe. The creator, he says that the light, that America is going to be a big part of it. So he might not. It could start with somebody that y'all reach out to. And Nazarene, remember to send me that information of what you want me to put on that index card. It needs to be like a little paragraph or something. And I'm going to put the picture of the Oahspe on one side of it. And then you just write me like a little paragraph of what you want me to put on the index cards. And then as soon as I get that, I can send it out to you. So Dave, good to see you. Cherise, Nazarene, everybody who came in, Mahalia. Man, it's good to see y'all again. Been a long time. I feel the creator. He let me grow and learn and really come back with a desire to help to try to be an inspiration and help brethren go through what we going through while we here on the Red Star. And so I hope the creator give me more and more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. I share it with y'all. So brethren, if there's nothing else, Omian, thank you for coming through too, bro. So if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and just close out, say a closing little short prayer, and then I'm going to end the video with your permission. All right? So thank you, brother, for joining me. And please, Tuesday, creator willing, let's do it again. Joby, thank you for the fellowship. And Joby, for the information that went out. And I just pray that we will be strengthened and that we will grow in our understanding and that we will redeem the time, especially. That's really important, to redeem the time while we're here in the Red Star, and for comfort and for strengthening our ashars to lead us and guide us, Jehovah. And so please, for all the brethren, just pray that you'll be with us and help us to make the resurrection and to also be the brightest light that we can be while we are here on the Red Star. Jehovah, thank you in your name. Thank you. All right, brother, that's it. That is it, brother. Thank you for joining me. Please, Tuesday, send me a message or something. The topical survey, the 6-volume set, I send them out for free, especially if I know you or if you're just a little short on funds, I can dig it. So thanks, brethren. Until next time, Tuesday, same bat time, same bat channel. I will see you then. Everybody take care, okay? Bye.